Anyways, welcome viewers to the program. Always good to know you're there watching. Don't forget the number on the screen is so you can correspond with us on the program. And also, don't forget that you can watch us live on Twitter, all right? You can also download the Galaxy Television app, and you don't need to miss a thing on the program. Having said that, let's get into the program properly this afternoon. All right, so unfortunately, about 61 migrants, mostly Nigerians, have been reported to have died in a shipwreck of Libya. So 61 migrants, including, very sad, 61 migrants, including men, women, children from Nigeria, the Gambia, and other African countries have drowned following a shipwreck of Libya, and that's according to the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and that's the United Nations agency, by the way. Now, there were approximately 86 migrants aboard the ship, including, like I said earlier, women and children. And the migrants are believed to have died because of high waves which swamped their vessel after it left from Zuwara on Libya's northwest coast. 25 people were rescued and transferred to a Libyan detention center. It also said the survivors were all in good condition and had received medical support from the United Nations agency staff. Now, of course, we know that Libya, Tunisia, these are basically like principal departure areas, you know, for all these migrants who basically risk their lives, you know, shortcuts to get to Europe or Italy.
I'm using the word risk. The danger.
Exactly.
Why? Because, well, on one side, can I blame them? No. Why? We all want to be fulfilled. We want to be accomplished. We all started life at one point or the other, nursery school, primary school, and on and on. Some dropped at different levels. Some still found their way. They still made it in life by learning skills or occupations. While some of us still go to university, some super for degree, others masters, and you know, that's the life that we all wanted for ourselves. But the problem here is that our case is peculiar. Nigeria has no business generating migrants. We have no business, running away from the country. But because serially and retrogressively, the country is being badly managed. And when I mean the country, I mean the economy and virtually everything. Whereby you finish a degree, maybe master's degree, and then for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you can have a job. You see a graduate riding Okada, and you call that empowerment. The politician will buy Okada and give the Kemarwa to graduate and say they're empowering them. I don't know why we are this way, because the last 2 weeks we had a conference on Africa, governance and the future. Everything was bleak. Africa is always at the center of, name it. We are the ones going to Europe to beg for resources for aid. We are the ones flying private jets. We are the ones whose citizens are going to die in the ocean. Name it. And you ask yourself, why? And I'm an apostle of democracy. But our own democracy here is not what other people practice. Because the two plans of democracy are not here. Transparency and accountability. If only the elites managing our political offices can be transparent and accountable, you will be shocked. Overnight, the fortune will change. All these people dying inside the ocean, it pains me, including children. The pain will be taking the children away, to take them away from poverty, from lack and deprivation.
I get what you're saying, Are, but then doing it that way, for instance, people who go through the desert to get to Europe.
And I can sit down here in the comfort of the studio and begin to imagine. I have been to other days. I didn't go to run away. We just said, let's go and see.
And see what's like.
While Gaddafi was managing Libya, we had been in Libya before as students. It was fun. We enjoyed ourselves. We were even ushered to his palace. We didn't see him, but we were ushered into his palace. Today, Libya has no central government. No thanks to America and the other part of the world. They make sure, and they still doing it today, to make Africa not workable. So I don't understand why our leaders cannot read the writing on the wall and sit at home and do something. There is no skill we are looking for in the world. There are Nigerians everywhere with skill, with capacity. Let's utilize these things. That means there is enough to go around if only we be fair to each other. And that's the problem. We got to Agadez that day and it was hell. We could not breathe because of the dust blowing. It's a desert. And people are there ready to go. You know, they don't even think about what will happen. You going through the desert.
They die.
They were drinking their urine.
Wow.
You know, yeah. I mean, there was no option, no choice. And they were packed like animals, not human beings. Some of them have not had a bath for 3-4 weeks. But there was no provision for that. I mean, we should, it's enough reason for our leaders to sit down, empathize with these Nigerians, and let's start doing things right.
And the thing is, when you say that the Western powers want to destroy Africa, that our leaders should be sensitive to that, I don't agree. Most of our problems are caused by us, and then we blame others for our problems. Those leaving Nigeria to go overseas, that boggles the mind. And people keep dying, and the more people are dying, the more others are going. But it's interesting to note that in the 70s, people left different parts of the world to come and work in Nigeria. And you had Indians, Pakistanians, some were medical doctors. I know
Filipinos,
they
were teachers, even Ghanaians.
Doctors.
So, because then the Naira was very powerful. 1 Naira was $1.6.
It was already weakened.
Yeah, so
the Naira was stronger than dollar.
That's what I'm saying. 1 Naira. Because when I bought BTA for the first time, I paid 300 Naira. And I got $450. Okay, so people came to Nigeria, worked, saved up money, and took that money home, and it became a lot of money. They started their own hospitals, eye clinics, whatever business with it. So it's just mismanagement over the years by a series of dictators, very greedy dictators that brought us where we are. But why do and it's about African countries, people running away from African countries. The one-time U.S. President Roosevelt during the Second World War was traveling to, I think it was Casablanca, to meet with the British Prime Minister. He made a stopover at Bathos, Gambia, and he called Bathos, Gambia a pestiferous hole.
What?
Pestiferous hole.
All right, I think we need to take a minute to go and look in the dictionary. All right, thanks for staying with us. We're still looking at the unfortunate... Sorry? Okay, you were checking the dictionary. All right, before we took the break, we were still discussing the issue of 61 migrants who recently died in the shipwreck of the coast of Libya, and most of the people who died, women, children from Nigeria. All right, so Mr. Zikama.
Bathos Gambia is pestiferous hole and predicted that Africa will remain a source of problem, a drawback for the whole world for many years, even centuries to come. And of course he is right. So it's a problem among Africans, greed, dictatorship. I don't know why it's... Even Botha of South Africa said that the black man cannot rule himself. Give him guns, he will kill each other. Give him democracy, he will bring in tribalism, and he will steal all the money. And we lack the mental capacity to rule ourselves. That seems outrageous. That seems disparaging.
At that time.
Very insulting. But then that's our reality. Okay, so these people, but the thing is that you say that the world is not risk, the world is in danger. Why endanger your life to get to another man's country? Why don't you stay home and endanger your life to seek accountability and transparency from those that rule you? Because the number of Nigerians that have died trying to get to Europe, if Nigerians rise up and say enough is enough, we can't take this anymore, we need transparency, we need accountability, you must account You must show us what, because we elected you ostensibly, you're working for us. It will not cost as many lives. So why throw your lives away, whereas you can stay home and try to make a difference? Most countries of the world today that we are running to, we did not find their freedom, their progress, they worked for it. The American Constitution, the American Creed said, we hold this fact evident that all men are created equal. But 100 years after the end of slavery, the black Americans were not treated, there was no racial equality. And when the blacks said, let us have this equality that is the creed of this country, it didn't come on a platter of gold. People suffered, people died.
See, today,
but then the dream is there. A black man became the president. Is that not the dream? Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will be judged by the content of
their character and not by the color of their skin.
Evidently, Obama was judged by the content of his character, not the color of his skin, or he wouldn't have been president. So my advice to Nigerians is that we hang in this country and make demands in this country, struggle in this country, suffer in this country, and possibly die in this country for this desired change to come. Enough of this running away.
Right, I share your sentiments. On the issue of the imperial powers manipulating Africa, maybe one day we beg for an hour to place it on the table, and I will give you the specifics. I wasn't a boy when they said Gaddafi was mismanaging Libya. They said so much about him, whereas the reverse was the case. They made sure he was killed. Till today, peace has eluded.
It wasn't the Western powers that killed Gaddafi.
No,
people fought him, and the Western powers.
They know how they marshal.
They don't know. Gaddafi came to power.
Gentlemen, let's stay within context of the conversation.
Another example, but like I said, we ask for time on the issue of Naira and other. I've been asking, why is the global economy dollarized? Who keeps money for America if America has to warehouse our own wealth? Who keeps money for America? You see, these are the ways you know.
The world economy is dollarized. So every country pegs its currency to the dollar. But not every country of the world is falling apart like Nigeria. So what are those countries doing well, although they peg their money to the dollar and they are making progress, their economy is booming. So we can't blame it on the dollarization. Nigerians are mismanaging their economy. In the 70s, when 1 naira was more than $1, it was still pegged to the dollar. So simple is our problem. We cause our problems. I want to blame others for it.
Remember where I started from. But I'm telling you now, there's a grand plan to keep Africa perpetually.
It's not true.
All right, gentlemen. All right, I just have a feeling that we're going to slide into something else. All right, where we're going. But I get. But there's a tie between what you're saying and what we're discussing. I get. But
no country is an island. No country lives alone. We've read cases of people going to sponsor coup in other countries, and when they succeeded, they were rewarded. So when you see crisis in places, for instance, if they cause a war somewhere, they will sell arms to them.
Korea,
if they cause trouble somewhere, they will sell essence food to them.
Koreans were ruled by generals for so many years.
All right, gentlemen.
That built up Korea. So if our generals destroy our country, and generals in some other countries build up their countries, is that whose fault?
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your contributions. Anyways, we're still looking. Rest in peace. Amen. All right, so 61 migrants out of the 86 that were on board the ship, unfortunately, died in the shipwreck off the coast of Libya. And according to report, the majority were Nigerian women and children. According to the IOM, the United Nations agency, more than 153,000 migrants arrive in Italy this year alone. And of course, you know, the route is through Tunisia and Libya, and you know, they take the sea to land in Europe via Italy. Yeah, we have seen oftentimes where politicians, you know, in Italy and some parts of Europe has actually used this as a campaign promise, all right, to make sure that they deal with the issue of illegal immigrants. Okay, Nigerians, we have to be careful. I don't know how someone can choose to go through the desert, you know, for days, not minding whatever is going to happen just because you're looking for greener pastures. Anyways, the United Nations has described the Central Mediterranean migration route as the world's deadliest, claiming hundreds of lives every year. And as we speak, some people are still getting ready, to still go on that journey. Let's be mindful.